Shalom everyone. Today's Torah reading comes from Genesis chapter 37, verse 12 all the way to verse 36, with a prophetic portion from Amos chapter 2, verse 6 all the way to chapter 3, verse 8. Our passage begins with Joseph's brothers grazing their flocks near Shechem. Israel sends Joseph from the valley of Hebron to check on them and bring back word. Joseph is the beloved son sent by his father to his brothers. In the same way, the father sent Yeshua to the house of Israel, as Yeshua says in John chapter 6 verse 38, "I have come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me." By this time, many years have passed since the incident of Shechem and Hamor. The sons of Jacob had settled in the valley of Hebron, and their strength and reputation were known throughout the land. Around this period, Leah, Jacob's first wife, passed away and was buried in the cave of Machpelah, as recorded in the book of Jasher. Joseph set out from Hebron towards Shechem, unbeknownst to Joseph that Joseph was leaving his father's presence and safety of his father's arms, symbolizing Yeshua leaving heaven. Joseph leaves Hebron, the place of fellowship, to seek his brothers. Likewise, the son Yeshua left the presence of the father to come into the world. When Joseph arrived, he found that his brothers were not there. While wandering in the fields, a man told him he had overheard the brothers speaking about going to Dothan. So Joseph continued his journey to Dothan in search of them. When the brothers saw Joseph approaching from a distance, they began to plot against him. They planned to kill him, claimed that a wild animal had devoured him. But Reuben heard their plan and intended to rescue Joseph and return him to their father. Instead of killing him, Reuben suggested they throw him into a pit. When Joseph arrived, they stripped him of his long tunic, the coat his father had given him, and cast him into the pit. This moment echoes another scene centuries later, when Yeshua was stripped of his garments before his crucifixion, recorded in Matthew chapter 27 verse 28. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. Midrash often sees the empty pit as symbolic of death. The pit had no water, an image the sages associate with the place of death and abandonment that Yeshua himself was subjected to. As the brothers sat down to eat, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites traveling from Gilead toward Egypt. Judah then proposed a different plan. Instead of killing Joseph, they could sell him for profit. After all, he said, "He is our brother, our own flesh." While the brothers debated, the Midianite traders passed by and pulled Joseph out of the pit. They purchased him from the brothers for silver and then sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver later on, who then carried Joseph down to Egypt. Joseph being sold for silver foreshadows another betrayal centuries later, when our Redeemer Yeshua was sold for 30 pieces of silver, documented in Matthew chapter 26 verse 15. A striking parallel appears in the book of Amos. The prophet rebukes Israel for injustice, for selling the righteous and oppressing the needy. What Joseph's brothers did to one righteous man personally, Israel would later repeat it nationally. When Reuben returned to the pit and found Joseph missing, he tore his garments in grief. He had not been present when the brothers sold Joseph to Midianites. When he learned what had happened, the brothers' hearts were troubled. According to the book of Jasher, they felt remorse and even searched for Joseph, but could not find him. Fear fell upon them, and none spoke openly of the matter. Each kept the secret in his heart as they tried to decide what they would tell their father. Finally, they took Joseph's tunic, slaughtered a goat, dipped the garment in its blood, and they sent it to Jacob. When Jacob recognized the tunic, he believed that a wild beast had devoured Joseph. Overwhelmed with grief, he mourned many days and refused to be comforted. This episode reminds us that sometimes we do not understand why suffering happens to the righteous. Yet Joseph's story reveals a deeper truth. God is working even through suffering to accomplish his purposes in our life. For Joseph's dreams to be fulfilled, he first had to be separated from his brothers, from his home, from everything familiar. Just as with the patriarchs before him, God was shaping his life through hardship. Joseph's journey becomes a pattern: humiliation before exaltation, descent before dominion. This pattern mirrors the life of Yeshua as well: the cross, the grave, and the resurrection. In this passage, we see a glimpse of Mashiach ben Joseph, the suffering servant, and it is Judah who proposes selling Joseph. Yet, centuries later, from the tribe of Judah will come the Messiah who saves the world. In tomorrow's reading, we will begin to see the hints of Mashiach ben David, the reigning king. Until then, stay blessed.